Welcome to the Sacred Circle, a podcast about all things spiritual and mystical. From magic to meditation, from consciousness to ceremony, this podcast is dedicated to all of you seekers after truth out there. This is an invitation to all of you who still believe in magic, to all of you who respect the unseen, to all of you who don't take myths, legends, and ghost stories for granted. I am your host and guide, Dr. Alex. I don't claim to be an expert, a master practitioner, a shaman, or a medicine man. What I am is a seeker after truth. Welcome to the Sacred Circle. Join us every week on Binge on This, where you can find other shows like Happy News with Perry Kurtz, This, That, and the Other, Reading Ronin, What's Hood with Forever Cabron. Looking forward to delving into the unseen with you every week.
Here we go.
Buenas tardes, buenos dias, and buenas noches. Welcome to another episode of Caldo de Risa. I'm your host, Danny Archila, and right next to me is Mr. Bryan TV. Bryan, how are you doing, man?
Doing well, my man. Good to see you again. Welcome back to America.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Bienvenidos a America.
By which I mean it's been a while since I've been back from South America. So
Yeah, but I mean today's episode is about that though. So I mean it's I'm living the truth of welcome back, and we're having lunch, and how was and then you'll tell me how Colombia was.
Muchísimas gracias, my friend.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good to be back. I think it's worth noting we have our great studio
Yes.
little set up.
As
more
you
than
guys
usual,
know,
actually.
we have the pleasure of using a good friend of ours' studio. He's currently in the background doing some managerial work, trying to figure out some Twitch stream, trying to make us look beautiful. William Martinez in the back, ladies and gentlemen, working diligently, trying to make sure that we can get everything up and ready for you guys so that we can start streaming all over the world. But as always, guys, you guys know where to find us at bingeonthischannel.com, binge on this on YouTube, binge on this on Instagram, basically anywhere, simply by searching binge on this. Danny.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I've been doing all right, man. I just just staying busy like we all are in this.
You've got a gorgeous
crazy world.
beard going on right now. Can we address that real
Yeah.
quick before we jump into it?
Yeah, I have been told from my girlfriend that facial hair looks good. I've tried it out. I've gotten favorable responses about my facial hair, and that's nice. It's good to know that it balances out the short hair, which I'm not used to having at all. It might be a limited time offer as far as I'm concerned.
I gotta say, as a guy who wish he could grow facial hair, you're killing it right now. It looks good.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I know you're not doing that much work to it, but it looks naturally. You're very lucky to have an aesthetically pleasing beard, dog. You know what it is? I like it because it's kind of like an evolution, man. We're getting, even if you do shave it off, there's this moment this past week where you've carried yourself, which you always do. You've seen it on the pitch, and you do have, a sense of control overall. But this
Yes.
week, there was something different about you with that beard, where you were kind of like machismo a bit more, like you could reach up and touch your face a little bit and ponder your thoughts, while you're staring into your, cup of cafe, and just kind of really be a man about it. And it was, I don't know, you kind of, we were talking about what happened beforehand, and I don't know, it was interesting. I feel your energy, not even the way you talk. I think that's what threw me off when you were talking to your old lady. Is because you were kind of like carrying yourself with a bit of I don't know, like a manly energy, dog.
I thank you for that. I think that's the most succinct thing I can say, and we have a lot to talk about, so that's very nice of you to say that, Bryan.
Damn Skippy, dog.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into it, man.
Well, we're going to open up with our classic segment. You might know this from episodes past, and we're going to continue this for episodes future. It is ¿Qué dicha? Essentially when we talk about a phrase that we can not only incorporate throughout the episode, but within our daily Latin American lives.
Very well said.
Yeah. So, oiga, Bryan,
A ver, dime.
te digo algo.
A ver, dime.
Yo sé que Joseph Biden es el presidente, pero a veces él puede ser canzón.
Canzón. What does that mean? Canzón.
All right, so canzón or canzona, if you're a woman, it's quite literally tiresome. Like you're cansado. You know, you're tired of like just somebody that's being annoying, pain in the ass. Just to really kind of like personify a person who's not being personally personable. You know, like, okay, so let's say
Like bothersome?
yeah, bothersome, just annoying.
Like, eres bien canzón.
Yeah, like you say that to your boss or you say that to your coworker if they're not doing a good job.
Okay.
Maybe if you're in a fight with your significant other, it's like, eres cansona. Then you have to take that back because, you know, they'll think you're calling them something else, like a sack of potatoes or something.
Of course.
Which, for whatever reason, I think is also very annoying.
Very much
Have you
so.
tried to peel potatoes? It's very bothersome.
It's a tough thing to do.
Muy cansona.
Muy cansona. I like it. So in your everyday life, if you meet somebody who's like bothersome or annoying or tired, right?
Well, no, you're tired of them.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, anybody in your life that has been just super annoying or ignorant of how you're feeling, just call them canzón, and that'll whip them
Cool.
right back into shape. And be
I
"Oh,
like
shit,
it.
I'm being un poco canzón. you
Well,
know?
that's the word for the week. Canzón. Can we spell it?
C-A-N-S-O-N. And then you put an A at the end if it's a female version.
Perfect. Canzón, ladies and gentlemen.
Canzón o canzona. That's where we're going with.
I like it. I like it.
Yes, sir.
I love our word segments because sometimes I do be learning stuff that I never knew about, you know.
You are. I know you are, for sure.
So what's next on the agenda, Danny
Well,
man?
I mean, generally, this is one of our it's going to be one of our more relaxed episodes because it's just me telling you, hey, what's been up since I came back from Colombia.
Yeah.
Or rather, what happened in Colombia.
Perfect, Danny. Well, take us away to the wonderful world of Colombia.
Muchas gracias, Bryan. I will be happy to take you guys away. Let me know if I'm being too cansón. But basically, I went to Colombia for family reasons. I have maybe one of the most wonderful grandmas that has ever grandmothered. Her name is Virginia Archila. She lives in Bogota with my aunt, and she's in her golden years. Let's say that. Let's say she's seeing the end of the tunnel. And you know, when you're somebody's grandson, you got to make the time to go by and visit. You got to to say, hey, I really appreciate you. Thank you for teaching me what you've taught me. And I just always remember her being like super cool about the fact that I'm not very good at speaking Spanish, but I still try. You know, it takes a lot for somebody to say like, hey, you're actually not doing that bad when you speak Spanish. And she was always with that attitude. So I'm happy to say she's still with us.
Hey, that's what I like to
She's
hear.
fighting. And yeah, but I had to go visit her anyway. So I went ahead and left after a very difficult battle with the passports department of the U.S. government. I finally found my way to Bogota, Colombia.
How was the airplane ride?
The airplane ride was an all-nighter, and it was fine. You know, Avianca knows their stuff. I'm not a big fan of their on-the-air food, but I do like their blankets. They have the best blankets as far as
Tough to find a good blanket on a flight.
I mean, they're essentially the southwest of the southeast, if you want to be real. But no, plane ride was fine. Arrived in El Dorado. That's the Bogotano airport. It looks really nice, really fancy. Got in, went through immigration. It's pretty simple, not too much time taken there. And what can be said about Bogota is that it's usually very overcast, but it's windy. And it doesn't actually rain as often as people think it does. Maybe it rained like once while we were there, and that was during the night. So I get there. I'm picked up by my mom, Alba Archila.
Shout out Alba Archila.
Yeah, my mommy. Love you, mommy. Miss you, mommy. She was there with
Say
my
mommy again.
mommy. What was this a soundbite for? I'm curious. What are you? Mommy.
Yeah.
Okay. Mommy. All right. That's. So my mom was there
Yeah.
with her childhood friend Carlos Mendes, good friend of the family.
Mm-hmm.
He and my mom go way back to childhood, actually, and they've maintained a good friendship throughout the years. He's a very successful businessman. In what, I'm not sure, but I know that he looks out for his and his own, and without fail, we see him every Christmas. So it was nice to see him for a different occasion this year. He picks us up. We go over to his house. He lives in like one of those high-rise apartment complexes. And classically, Colombian apartments, specifically in Bogota, they're quite literally brick and mortar, like all the way up. They're just orange bricks. It's almost like coincidental that I'm a stand-up, who performs hopefully in front of bricks every night, because when people live and go to sleep, they go to sleep in brick skyscrapers, I would say. And it's fun. And the Colombian people, they don't change much, but the one big difference I've noticed is that COVID has really got them freaked out. Like
Really?
Like people are getting tests like on the weekly, maybe
Really?
bi-weekly there.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was only there for a couple of days. Wasn't there for too long, but I basically had to take a test when I was there. And some people were getting tests like as much as 2-3 times a week, I would say.
Damn, that's crazy.
Well, they just want to be careful there, They want to get back to their lifestyle. They want to get back to rumba,
Yeah.
They don't want to be canson and
Nice.
kill somebody off with their infection. We're there. We're hanging out with Carlos. We're hanging out with his housemaid. They have maids there.
Yes, they do. That was
So-
always something weird to me in Colombia. My grandma had a maid.
Did she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she lived with us downstairs.
Yeah.
Yep.
When they're older people, I can understand because like they need the help. But like this guy is, relatively young, just about my mom's age.
He's
Still-
got money though, right?
Yeah, he's got money, and he treats her nice. So,
He treats your mom nice?
well, yeah, but my
Oh,
mom,
you meant the
my
maid nice.
yeah,
Everyone
I
nice.
mean,
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
that's
Yeah.
all good. No, he treats her nice. Had myself right off the bat. Had myself a nice little plate of food.
What'd you have?
I had myself like a breakfast, like with eggs and some toast and an arepa. An arepa is really what you go for. And it's-
Arepas are the shit.
How would you?
Was it fried?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't make them like that out here, bro. My grandma, my Abuela Dora, she used to make the bombest fucking arepas. Arepas are like naan. They're like kind of like fried. I don't know. They're kind of like fried white flour. It's white flour, right?
You call them flour.
Masa.
I
It's-
honestly would go as far as to say they're cheesecakes. Like they're literal cakes of cheese. That's what I think of them, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, they're kind of like. I don't know. We didn't do ours with cheese. Mami Laura used to just make them in the morning with chocolate, and it would just be a flat arepa,
Yeah.
and she would just that, and then she would put it and fry it inside of the fucking thing, and you bring it out, and it'd be like a big. I'll have to make some for you the way my Mami Laura used to make
I
them.
bet you can.
Yeah, those
I
are
bet you
fire.
can.
Oh, but that's cool, man. So you went in there and you ate.
Yeah, I ate, and I took a little nap after. Then I pretty much hung out with my mom for the day, and she's doing good. She's doing
Is she
really
out
good.
there in Colombia?
She came back like pretty much the same day that I came back to California. So they were only there for like 2 weeks because of a wedding and all. And she loves hanging out. She loves seeing my uncle. I have an uncle, Jaime.
Jaime. Nice.
And his kids, Mariana and Felipe, and his wife, Marilu, and his other daughter, Elizabeth. We actually got to see them later that night for crepes and waffles.
Crepes? They know about crepes.
So, yeah, Crepes and Waffles is a very popular chain in Colombia. And basically, it's just exactly that, like French cuisine put on with a Colombian
No
twist.
way.
Yeah,
No
it's
way,
actually one of my
dude.
favorite places to go. Everybody loves it there. My sister adores it.
What would you equate it to a restaurant in here in California? Or yeah,
I'd equate it to, honestly, first thing that comes to mind is like Wolfgang Puck.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I've never eaten a Wolfgang Puck, so I don't know how that is.
I mean,
how that is.
Forget about that. Come to Colombia sometime and eat Crepes and Waffles, man.
Okay.
This interesting thing about this restaurant, which is very much like modern rustic, you know, they have like a lot of use of mahogany and also with warm lighting, is that they don't try too hard to be French. They just try hard to be classy and rustic, I would say. Here's the crazy thing. In these current COVID times, not only do they have little foot pedals like everywhere else in the Colombian malls, centro comerciales as they call them, to dispense hand sanitizer, they also have dummies,
Like mannequins?
like mannequins, but filled with cloth or fluff or some sort of pillow substance. Like, you know, like, have you ever seen those futon, like, people, but they're like life-size Raggedy Anns or something? Okay, maybe it's a personal thing, but the point is they have those like filled up mannequins of fluff seated in between different parties, even at community tables, just to separate for the case of the COVID.
Wow.
It's fascinating to me.
Did you take a picture?
Oh, I've taken pictures. Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay. Yeah, it went after the show.
Yeah, of course. after the show.
Wow, that's cool, dude.
It is very unusual, but I think the way they're trying to let people know, hey, be safe, it's rather kind, I would say.
That's interesting that they would go to those extremes to try and keep. I mean, I guess is that any more extreme than putting stuff on the floor and being like 6 feet away from each other? Like, you know.
I'm not sure. I mean, they have the little placemats on the floor as well. It's just, you know, they're trying to really like cross their T's and dot their I's there.
That's crazy.
What I found very interesting was that my cousins are exceptionally doing great in university already.
Oh, really?
My cousin Mariana, she is
How old
studying,
is she? Oh, university age, right?
Yeah. So she is studying communications with a minor in, I believe, Korean. She's studying
Korean?
Yeah, she and I. But before the pandemic, I went to Colombia after so many years of not being there, and I was able to bond with her actually because we both liked K-pop. So, you know, since then I've seen that evolve into her actually wanting to go to Asia to study in the future, and I think that's fascinating. I think that's really great whenever somebody wants to like get out of their limitations and be more than they possibly thought they could be before. So good for her.
Very good for her.
And my cousin Felipe is going to be studying to be a doctor. So,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're both making it happen. I suppose I should go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, my grandmother, and when I went ahead and saw her the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Virginia Archila, she is my grandmother on my father's side. She lives with my aunt Martha in an area of town that's
Your mom's
very
name is
residential.
Martha?
No, my aunt is
Your
not
aunt.
Martha.
My mom's name is Martha.
I have this, it's not really a joke I've developed yet, but I do believe every Colombian family knows at least one Martha and one Jaime,
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the very least. I happen to have two Jaimes, well, one on both sides of my family, but my aunt's named Martha. She's married to a man named Oakless.
Oakless.
Yes. I'm not going to try to like pretend like I know what he does. I just know he's a nice guy. And, you know, he's one of those in-laws. But they live in this really nice house I've been to all the time since I was a kid. We had some nice soup, some potato soup, some caldo, if I may, some aguacate. And I would be remiss if I didn't say they also had the aforementioned passion fruit.
Yeah, nice.
Passion fruit. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That fruit that has the seeds in there that you just suck everything out.
Yeah, it's
It's delicious.
yeah.
If I could show you anything, it looks like this.
Yes, that takes me back,
right?
dude.
Yeah, it's an
Everything
orange,
reminds me of her, dog.
It's an orange shell, and it's very hard on the outside, but you crack it open, you get to suck all
It's
the
got little
green.
eggs in there.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's super dope.
So I'm talking with my grandmother, and I'm not going to necessarily get into too many details because that's personal, but I will say that she was very happy to see me. She was happy to
Nice.
see my dad, my other uncles from Florida and from around the city and the States. They came in to see her as well, so she was very happy to see everybody. She and I spent time talking about how much we cared about each other. I actually wrote her a poem.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you want to read it?
I would be happy to read it.
Yeah, let's do
Let me
it.
go ahead and see if I can find the photo. My poem for her was like very sullen, but essentially I was just telling her like, hey, I really love you and I miss you. I'll miss you a lot.
Yeah.
That was the whole idea of it.
I like that, man. That's
Yeah.
a sweet thing to do for a grandparent. Like, I recorded my grandma the last time I was home because I wasn't sure, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I thought it was important to try and keep as many, things as I could from her, to just have in the event that, But
Yeah.
that's very cool of you, Danny. So yeah, man, hit
Yeah.
us with that.
It's yeah, I have it here. The weird thing is that I wasn't planning on reading it quite. I think I was just mentioning it in conversation. So I'll say this. Maybe the next time we record
Sounds
this,
good.
we can go ahead and bring it up. But I do
Sounds
have
good.
the file. It's just iCloud and all that.
No worries, brother.
This is a very personal episode for me, so I hope you don't mind me taking my time. I'm gonna
Take your time.
try to keep quick. and
No,
pace 'cause I
you're
know we have a lot of
good,
things to
man.
get to.
You're good. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I read her the poem. I drew her a picture that I also have to share for the next time, and she really appreciated that. We went through some old family photos. She remembered about my grandfather. Told me about how they used to go to Paris together, just to hang out.
Really?
Yeah, they were really much in love.
From Colombia, they'd fly out to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
That's very sweet. When did your grandfather pass?
He passed about 2014.
Oh, so she's been alone for a long time now.
She's been alone for long enough, I feel.
Do you ever feel, do you think there comes a point where it's like time to let go, Grandma?
Well, yeah. I will say that if she was to pass, I think she'd be pretty happy because according to her faith, she's going to see my grandfather on the other side. And that's what I want for her because I feel like in her current condition, without giving too much away, it's very easy for people to patronize or look down on her because of how weak she currently is. I mean, she needs a breathing machine. She has at least 3 nursing maids around at a time. She's having trouble walking, although she's walking more. She's still having trouble walking. So it's stable for now, but it's looking grim. And I just want the best for her as she spends her final years because I'll be honest, I don't know if she's going to hit 100, but I won't. That's not what's important. What's important is that she enjoys and remembers these times for as long as she can, while she can.
Wow, and that you made the effort to go out and see her,
I'd like to go out again. I was talking with my father before he left, like, hey, let's try to make this happen once more. So hopefully that'll happen. But it was really good to see him too. He seemed relatively optimistic about the whole thing.
Yeah, he's feeling better.
Yeah. He's seen her a couple times since this year has started, and I've only seen her this one time. So of course he's a little more used to it by now.
I guess, did you feel like the medicine in Colombia was, I guess, medicinally, how did it look as far as America?
I mean, it's hard for me to say because I didn't really have to take any medicine there.
Oh, I guess the treatment that she was receiving.
The treatment she's receiving is honest and it's straightforward. If she doesn't do what she needs to do, she's going to enter the hospital and exit hospice, which I think will cost her and my aunt more money. So I'm cheering for her from the sidelines, essentially. And this makes me realize I should probably give her a call one more time. But in any case, she's doing well, I think, overall. We went to a dinner party another day of the 4 days stay I was there. And that was a little more optimistic because it was just all of us who came to visit grandma, hanging out in a different area. And we were drinking wine and we were having this
Aguardiente?
wonderful...
Did you guys have any aguardiente?
No, you know what? Aguardiente, I can't even say the word right, but I didn't actually do that much alcohol there besides wine because, it's like when you're hanging out with family, you don't know what could happen if you're letting your guard down, I want to be able to let loose and, relax them away from work while trying to prove to them, hey, I am still working. I am still a busy guy who does work to begin with. So.
Oh, so you were doing work while you were there?
Well, I had to take care of some stuff for my job. Yeah. Just from the internet, nothing too big. But the point is that, the idea of being alone and away from your family is already mind-boggling to them enough. So my whole perspective whenever I visit family, whether it's in Florida or in Colombia, is, hey, just so you guys know, I'm still loving the choice that I made to live on my own. Because a lot of people in Florida, they don't leave. They stay. And that's fine. That's what they want to do. I wanted to do something different. And no matter how hard each day may be, at the end of the day, I'm still thinking I'm very grateful for the choices I've made because it's gotten me where I am now versus where I could have been if I was very inactive and passive.
So you feel like your family is going to look at you and be like, well, he wants to stay?
Well, they know I should stay, My dad's pretty happy about it. My mom is just very torn because, she misses me, and a lot of the kids are now, fleeing the coop. My sister is the last one to go, and, she's in her final years of college, but, once she's gone, it's just going to be my dad, my mom, and my dog. And, even he is entering. This is very morose. I don't mean to be, a bit downturn. I'm just, speaking from the heart here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I love my family very much, and I'm happy to see them, hopefully, in Thanksgiving. I think
that'll be nice.
Yes. I want to talk a bit more about the food, honestly, because what was very interesting was my mom and I had ourselves a meal of chicken, of just straight up chicken, and they had some yuca, and they had some rice, and some potatoes and all that. But the most interesting part about eating chicken there is that they have gloves that you can wear to eat the chicken raw. And they've had this since before the virus. That's what I love about going to such restaurants as La Brasa Roja. That was one of them. La Brasa Roja, I think that has the best fast food chicken. You don't want to go to Cocorico. You don't want to go to...
I thought we were trying to get that sponsorship from Cocorico.
I know, but that's just an easy name for me to remember. La Brasa Roja is really where it's at. And they have some of the best chicken. Their chicken is cooked with some sort of marination that gives off a yellow tint. And I really like that for some reason. Just whenever I see yellow food, I'm like, yum, yum. Let me have it.
Yellow food.
Yeah. I don't feel canson, picking
nice.
out on some yellow chicken. What else is yellow? I'll say the mazorca.
The mazorca?
The mazorca. If you know me, I love me my corn. And I love me even more than that famous rock band, some mazorca.
Ah.
But do you know what that is?
Mazorca corn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you know how they prepare it?
Yeah, the grilled corn. Over the fire.
Corn. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. So for people who don't know, there are plenty of vendors in the parks that take raw corn, but it's a little cold, it's a little refrigerated, right? And they roast that over a fire, over a fire, like a makeshift stove in the park. And they do that until some of them turn a bright orange, if not a small bit of dark brown or even black. It varies, but the corn tastes great. They put some salt in there, some butter. It's very simple like that. It's not like elote. It's a totally different animal, and I love it to shreds. So I had to absolutely have one while I was there.
Good call.
And it was just so filling. Honestly, I'm thinking about I'm thinking about pushing for my dreams, my hopes, and my aspirations just so I can have a backyard that will let me do that corn in the same way. That's what I'm fighting for. I'm not fighting for an Emmy. I'm not fighting to get on
True love.
sketch television. I'd hope to get those things, but more importantly, I'm fighting so that way I can have the property to which I can roast my own corn, my own mazorca,
The American dream, brother.
the Southern American dream.
I like it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I also got some gifts. I actually gave you when we had a show at the chateau.
Yes, it was very nice. I have it. I keep it next to my good luck charm in the car.
I
It's a little
appreciate that.
Mafalda book.
Yeah, the little
It's not
Mafalda
even
books.
not the plastic. It's in the plastic. It's got the little sticker on it.
They have tiny librettas there.
Yeah, little books. It's how I learned about sex. They had little sex books.
Did they really have? Is that how you?
I found a sex book when I went back when I was like 12 or 13. Oh, no, I think it may have been in Italy. No, it was in Colombia. They had a little sex book of like sexiness. And I was like, not that this is how I learned about sex, but it is one of the first moments where I read it and I was like, this is erotic. This is an erotic thing. And I rubbed those little pages out.
That's so funny.
So 6 months. So the pages fell out the book.
Yes. Well, I'm hoping you don't do that with this book necessarily, but I am glad it is a good luck charm.
It is,
just in
yeah.
case
It's
you
right there
are
in the car.
in need of such deviant adventures.
I could always use good luck, dog.
I'm good for now. I did give Brittany, my girlfriend, some Cheetos, some Colombian Cheetos, which are essentially corn Cheetos without the cheese. Which honestly were popular there before they were here. I mean, here they have the white cheddar ones, but I'm talking about straight up corn Cheetos. Like, that's how much Colombians like corn, you know?
They do be loving that corn,
They
man.
love that corn.
Maíz, bro, is the first staple.
Yeah. And I got her that and like a little Colombian mochila, so that way she can carry her stuff in. So we got that. Brought some arequipe type candy back for all the boys and
Did
girls.
you
at the scene.
get to do any comedy?
I was only there for 4 days, Bryan. I don't think I would have been able to if I had hustled my ass off. And I've tried to like hit up bookers and like open mic people there, but they in the past have responded to me like 2 weeks later after I had just arrived back from Colombia. So I believe in the future I may be a little more advantageous and just look up bars and look up like local Colombian comedians and just try to start my own thing, because I don't think like mics and shows are happening independently if they're not in like a stadium or some sort of theater for like a selling out act, you know, or a festival. And basically I'm saying I'm not going to be canzón. I'm not going to bother like people that run comedy. I'm just going to run my own comedy for hopefully what I would be thinking a longer time that I'd stay there. You know, it just takes like a lot of communication, and I have contacts there. I have people that would be willing to do a run for me. I'd really like to eat some bocadillo at some point, you know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that right now. Just the bocadillo. That's guava and mozzarella cheese. You eat that in one bite, you go to town. You're there forever. You're in dreamland, man. That's another food I forgot to mention. But besides that, it was really good to see my grandmother. It was really good to see my mom. It was really good to see my dad, Roberto Archila. Shout out to him. He's always very inspiring for me to do the right and proper thing. And God knows it's difficult, but, you know, if he's able to do it, well, then so am I.
It's great to have everybody in the same room, too, you know, like...
Yeah, almost everybody. I mean, I didn't get to see my sister, and my brother is actually getting married soon, so he was celebrating his bachelor party quite early. But
Did you go?
That's just it. It was scheduled for the same time as the trip, and we just realized, like, sooner that my grandmother was
Progressing
to the final stages than that my brother was apparently having a bachelor party, which I think is great, you know, because he's really happy with this woman, and I'm happy for him. And I'm excited for his wedding in February, so it's going to be a good time. But yeah, all that aside, I enjoyed my time in Colombia. I really reflected on how real life feels once life starts to expire. And although I didn't really hit any mics, I'm sorry, this sounds all over the place, I was able to make some in-laws of my cousins laugh.
Oh, really?
Just by being like a little bit of a Mr. Bean type of character. I was able to like kind of question the Colombian food, because I'm white bread, man. Like, I'm Colombian, but like on the outside, I really do look like I'm just anything but, So, when they brought the plate over of like some mashed potatoes, some meat, some peas, some salad, a bit of cake, right? I was just kind of like, like I was just trying to be as silent film era as possible, because it's just like, if I notice somebody's having a good time, and if there's anything I can do to make them continue having a good time, that's what I want to do. I just want to make people feel comfortable.
Amen to that, brother.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Yeah. Well, guys, as we come in on the 2-minute line, what was your final thoughts on the expiring of life and on your journey to the homeland after having started a podcast now about Colombia?
We got a couple. A triple, really. One, it's never too late to forgive yourself. 2, you could always learn from the mistakes of other people without having to tell them, hey, you're kind of a fuck up. Like, you don't need to shove that in your face. Just silently acknowledge that by them screwing up, you have an opportunity to do better. And 3, that this life thing takes a lot longer than anybody ever knows. Like, you think it's going to take this long? I heard, like, Kate McKinnon say this one time in an interview. Multiply that by 3, and that's how long it might take. It might even be longer as far as, like, life goes. So I feel a little more relaxed. I feel like I'm mainly at peace knowing that I'm only in competition with myself. And in the meantime, just, put aside my bitterness and be willing to support my friends in their endeavors and be an ally everywhere I can.
Where can they find you, Danny?
They can find me at Archila, and I have one more little quick announcement, Bryan. Me and a close friend of mine, Grant Vance, I'm going to make this public. I'm going to make this official. We are going to be putting a website live this month for the magazine I've worked on since last year.
Hey, congratulations.
The magazine is titled The Intermittent Titter Magazine, short for Tit Mag, and it's coming. I would hope this month. I've got to wait for the URL to refresh, but once it comes, we're going to be hitting it with, how's that saying? Storms asunder, a thunder, something like that. A blunder. Maybe that's what it's going to be like for the first couple of weeks. But I will be promoting that
very heavily.
Yeah, just titmag.com. Sometime by the end of this month. That's what you're going to be going to if you want to know what I'm up to creatively.
Hell yeah, buddy. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, and shout out to Grant Vance. He's a nice guy. He's a great film director. And he and I have got something real here. So, but of course, Bryan, where could they find you?
Well, they can find us here at bingeonthischannel.com. Sorry, I blanked out. You can also find us on Instagram at bingeonthischannel.com. You can find me at @thereal_Bryan TV. And you can check out the new comedy page, The Gauntlet. That's where we will be posting our comedian stuff, sets, things that we've done out in the city, places where you can come and see us. It's just a nice little page to show you guys a group of young comedians getting together and really, really hitting it hard, So,
awesome.
But as always, Danny, a wonderful time. And as we always say in Caldo de Risa, al que no le gusta el caldo, se le dan 3 tazas. Hasta luego.
Para bolas.